I think I've stumbled on the perfect phrase for beginning clawhammer players. Welcome to Banjo Quest. All right, so today I'm going to teach you a beautiful rising and falling phrase in double C tuning. You'll want a banjo for this, so go ahead and grab one. I'm going to walk you through at a variety of different tempos. Before we get started, I want to mention that this is part of a larger piece called Gospel Plow. We're playing it in double C tuning. We're actually learning it in the Dorian mode. If you don't know what a Dorian mode is or wondering how that can help your playing, the link is in the description below to my Patreon project called Banjo Quest. We're going to be learning Gospel Plow. We're going to learn how to sing it together with the banjo. We're going to unhook our vocals so it sounds less square and more natural. And finally, I'm going to teach you how to play it with a bottleneck blues slide. It's going to be a blast. The link is in the description below. I hope to see you over there. So this phrase is awesome because it's beautiful, it's memorable, it's easy to play, and it reinforces some big basic fundamentals that we need to have in place when we're playing clawhammer banjo. So today I'm going to teach you this phrase beat by beat. We're going to take it slow to moderate, and then in the next subsequent video, I'm going to unlock upper tempo thresholds. We're going to be playing it super fast, and I'm going to show you how I learned to play at fast tempos. Let me give you an overview of the phrase, and then I'm going to teach it to you. Here we go. 1, 2. Begin again. So it's this beautiful rising and falling to the open first string, and then we just play the phrase in reverse. So it makes it really easy to memorize. You go up and then you just reverse the notes back down. I'll show you that in a minute. The first thing I want to do though is I want to talk about melody. Today we're going to not just learn the phrase wholesale from the beginning. I'm going to show you the downstrokes because that's where the melody is, and I want you to hear that melody. It's going to help you memorize the tune. It's certainly going to help you prepare for vocals much better. And one of the issues that a lot of people have with clawhammer is that the fifth string impedes their progress into the melody. They have a hard time seeing the melody in vivid color because that fifth string is sort of in the way. So let me show you how to do that. First of all, this phrase is all double thumbs, which means to the beginner that it's downstrokes followed by a sounded upstroke, in this case on the fifth string. So these are eighth note pairs. You can hear how all of these eighth note pairs fit together into one continuous phrase. And I want to remove all fifth strings, so we're going to be playing downstrokes only. Of course, you're going to need to do an upstroke to do your next subsequent downstroke, but don't sound the fifth string. Let me walk you through this. We're going to do a downstroke on the open third string. We're going to do a downstroke on the fretted third string, third fret, downstroke on the open second string, downstroke on the open first string, then we work our way back down to the open second string, then fretted third fret, third string, then open third string again, and then we have to separate that phrase with a downstroke on the open second string, so we have a good loop. Now let's put it all together. Listen carefully. Separate. One more time. That last downstroke is really just a placeholder. It's a beat that we're using to knit together the melodic phrase so that there's no gap. It's not a note we would sing. Doesn't that help you seat the phrase in your memory? Now it's easy to remember. And now all we need to do, we've got our downstrokes taken care of. All we need to do now is to add our fifth string on every upstroke, which sounds like this. 1, 2. There are three big things that you want to keep in mind as you're playing these moderately to slow paced phrases. One is positive engagement on the rim of the banjo. That is what I call the fulcrum. The arm is wrapping around that fulcrum and rotating around to deliver big, powerful strokes into the strings. And it's a place of positive contact on the instrument to help you get a good hold, a weld on that instrument. You should notice that when I'm playing, my headstock isn't moving around, and I'm not holding the banjo up with my fretting hand. This has one job, and that is to fret, maybe a little stabilization. But my banjo is welded to my body, and that is in a big part to the way I interact with the fulcrum. It also is this beautiful pivot point from which you can toss your hand into the banjo with a lot of energy to get those strings filling the room. The second thing you need to be thinking about is that we are operating with a two-target approach. This is weird about Clawhammer, but it's true. I like to pretend I'm an archer, and I'm a special archer. I get to shoot 2 arrows every time I shoot my bow. These are my arrows. My downstroke finger, my middle finger in my case, might be index for you. My downstroke finger is 1 arrow that strikes a target. Let's say it strikes the first string. Simultaneous to that arrow hitting the target, my second arrow hits the target as well, and that is my thumb landing on the 5th string. So every time I loose my arrows, 2 arrows fly to the target, and if I'm doing my part, I'm well practiced, they're accurate, and they hit 2 strings at the same time. What that does is it mechanically prepares that thumb. It puts the thumb in space before it needs to execute its own note, which is the upstroke, the next subsequent upstroke. If you are behind, your next upstroke could very well be behind as well. We don't want to add a 3rd step to a 2-step process, down, up, so we throw 2 arrows at the target at the same time and land on that 5th string with the downstroke, engaging the 5th string and preparing for the next upstroke. Now in this case, we are throwing in first on the open 3rd string. So what you want to do is you want to collide with that open 3rd string, pass through it with good follow through. That's my 3rd thing that we're working on here. Excellent follow through, punching through the 3rd string and letting the 2nd string, the next highest string, catch your follow through. And you'll feel that like a basket or a net. The 2nd string is catching your stroke and impeding your progress to the head of the banjo. If we're doing a downstroke on the 2nd string, the 1st string is catching the stroke. And of course, if we do a downstroke on the 1st string, we pass through the 1st string, there's no next string higher to catch us, and usually in the beginning, we collide with the head, and that's fine. It's good to collide with the head in the beginning. It demonstrates that you're practicing really good, robust follow through. Later on, we can refine that, and if you don't want the tap, tap, tap of the head, there are ways to get rid of it. So now we've got this all together. We are using our middle finger of our fretting hand to fret that note on the 3rd fret, 3rd string, and we're nice and close to that fret, so we're not working too hard. Thumb is crossing the neck plane. See my thumb sticking out there? It's not in line. We are perpendicular to that, and we get this nice big arch on the fretted hand. So we are getting a little bit of fretting hand work, which is nice for beginners. There's no pull-offs, there's no slides, there's no hammers. It's just a simple fret on the 3rd fret, 3rd string. Just make sure of one thing. We fret that 2nd note. 1, 2. When we play the 3rd note on the 2nd string, 1, 2, 3, that's our open 2nd string. You want to let go of that 3rd fret simultaneous to the downstroke on that 2nd string. So you're not holding that 3rd fret note and inadvertently creating harmony. There are lots of reasons why we want to create harmonies on the banjo, but that is another discussion for another time. We will be covering that soon. All right, let's blow this thing wide open and get to practicing the full thing. Yes, we are going to use a metronome. Don't shut this video off. This is why you're here, even though you don't know that's why you're here. All right, I'm gonna balance my metronome this whole lesson on my knee, and if I've got a good hold, it's not gonna fall off. We'll see. All right, 80 BPM, I'm gonna give us a 2 count, whole phrase. 1, 2. Big throws. We're gonna go up by 10 BPM only. Here we go, 90 BPM. 1, 2. Balance the stroke. Both downstrokes and upstrokes. One more time. We're gonna go up by 20 this time. We're gonna go to 110. This may seem fast. You can always slow the video down, but in the interest of not having a 30-minute video this time, let's go up by 20. Here we go. 1, 2. Time. Now you might start to feel as we get a little faster here that your swings need to be a little bit smaller, and that is of course really important because the faster we get, we can't keep these wide open swings going forever on the tempo band because we just get going too fast. So it's okay to start to lower that amplitude and interacting with the instrument a little bit different. Here's a funny little thing as I bump our metronome up by another 20 to 130. It's a funny little thing that I discovered about Clawhammer is I thought to play fast, you just had to play slow quickly. But I learned that if you don't adapt your mechanics to the faster tempos, you'll never get fast. And I'm going to teach you how to do that in the next video. All right, 130. 1, 2. Last time. All right, and one more bump. We're gonna go up to 150. And this is, the reason I'm stopping today at 150 is that this tends to be where a wall, one of our first walls, start to happen for beginning players. Get close to this, they can get this, and then everything beyond feels impossible. In their wildest dreams, they couldn't imagine playing. But I'll teach you how to do that in the next video. Here we go. Let's finish this off strong. 150, 2 count. 1, 2. More time. Okay, you're done with the metronome for today. The trick here is to let your body adapt to these faster tempos. So if you're feeling like that amplitude needs to get a little bit smaller on the instrument, that's fine. Just don't shrink down to nothing. Make sure you're still providing the room that you're in with lots of good banjo volume. Next time, we're going to be taking this from 160, which is that other half of that brick wall of 150. We're going to take 160 and beyond. So for you veteran players, I hope you will join me. And you beginners, you need to be able to see your path forward for playing at tempo. So next video will be excellent for you as well. I'm going to show you the tricks that I wish I had known 25 years ago when I first started banjo. It would have saved me a lot of time, pain, and agony. And that's it. I'll see you next time on Banjo Quest.